you're 55 to 75 years old, the power of slow living. Enjoy life. Spend less. Embracing the art of slow living. In a world that never seems to slow down, where each day feels like a race against time, there comes a moment when we must ask ourselves, what is all of this really for? As we enter our 50s, 60s, and beyond, we begin to realize that the relentless pursuit of more often pulls us away from what truly matters. Slow living is not just about doing less, it's about living more, being more present, more mindful, and more in tune with the richness of life that exists beyond the distractions of consumerism and busyness. It is a choice to step away from the noise and embrace simplicity, not as an absence, but as a fullness that can only be found when we let go of the unnecessary. It is in quiet mornings, unhurried conversations, and moments of stillness that we rediscover ourselves. Time slows down when we stop chasing it and start savoring it, whether it's a walk beneath golden autumn leaves, the warmth of a loved one's laughter, or the peace that comes from knowing we already have enough. This stage of life is no longer about accumulation, but about appreciation. It's about investing in experiences rather than possessions, in relationships rather than distractions, and finding joy in the simple, meaningful rhythm of living fully in the present. 1. Redefining what success means at this stage of life. For most of our lives, we've been taught that success is something we can measure by square footage, by the shine of our cars, by the brands stitched onto our clothes. Society has told us that the more we own, the more we are worth. And so, we've spent years accumulating, working harder, striving endlessly, chasing an image of success that always seems just out of reach. But over time, as we gather experiences instead of possessions, we begin to see the illusion for what it truly is. Real success isn't about what we own, it's about how we feel at the end of each day. It's not in the grandeur of a house, but in the warmth it holds. It's not in the luxury of a car, but in the journeys we take with the people we love. It's not in the weight of a bank account, but in the richness of the moments we live. Success is waking up with a sense of peace, knowing we are exactly where we need to be. It's savoring a cup of coffee in the quiet of the morning, unrushed and content. It's finding joy not in wanting more, but in fully appreciating all that we already have. We no longer need to prove anything to anyone. The endless race to accumulate, to impress, to chase after more has lost its appeal. Now success is about presence, about gratitude, about embracing the beauty of a life well lived. 2. The freedom of letting go. Imagine stepping into your home and feeling a deep sense of peace, where every object has meaning and nothing feels overwhelming. For years, we've collected countless possessions, souvenirs from trips, shelves filled with unread books, closets packed with long-forgotten clothes. Each item represents a moment, a memory, a past version of ourselves. But as time moves forward, so do we, and what once brought us joy can begin to feel like a burden. The weight of excess isn't just physical, it settles in our minds, clutters our thoughts, demands our attention, and quietly drains our energy. Letting go is not about loss, it's about making space for something greater. With each item we release, we create space not just in our homes, but within ourselves. Space for clarity, for peace, for a lighter way of living. When we remove what no longer serves us, we are left with what truly matters. The act of decluttering isn't just about organization, it's an act of self-liberation. It's a recognition that we are not defined by what we own, but by how we live. Start small. Choose one thing to let go of today. Feel the weight lift, the air clear, the mind settle. Over time, the habit of accumulating is replaced by the joy of simplicity. And in that simplicity, we rediscover what it means to live fully, to breathe freely, to embrace a home and a life that feels whole. 3. The hidden cost of consumerism. Every day, we are bombarded with messages telling us that happiness is just one purchase away. Advertisements whisper that the right beauty product will make us feel more confident, that an expensive vacation will bring us fulfillment, that designer clothes will set us apart. The world urges us to buy more, own more, and chase the illusion that wealth can fill the emptiness within us. But have you ever noticed how fleeting that happiness really is? The excitement of buying something new fades quickly, leaving behind the desire for something else, something newer, something better. And so the cycle continues until we step back and ask ourselves what truly brings us joy. Imagine for a moment if we shifted our spending not on things that gather dust, but on experiences that become a part of who we are. The laughter shared on a road trip with family, the quiet satisfaction of mastering a new skill, the deep sense of connection found in a creative pursuit. These moments shape us, leaving imprints on our hearts rather than on our shelves. Unlike material possessions, they do not lose value. They grow richer over time. There is a freedom in realizing that we don't need more to feel fulfilled. By choosing to spend less on things, we create space for what truly matters. We invest in relationships, in learning, in the simple joys of being present. Life is not meant to be measured by what we own, but by the depth of the experiences we embrace. When we let go of the need for more, we discover that we already have enough. 4. The joy of being present. When was the last time you sat in stillness, letting the world unfold around you without distraction? When was the last time you watched a sunset in its entirety? Not through the lens of a screen, but with your own eyes, absorbing every shifting hue. Life moves quickly, and in our constant rush to do more, we often forget the simple act of just being. The world glorifies busyness, making us believe that productivity is the ultimate measure of a fulfilling life. But what if true fulfillment is found in the moments we so often overlook? Imagine slowing down enough to fully experience the present. Sitting at the table, not just eating, but truly tasting, savoring every bite, feeling the warmth of a homemade meal, appreciating the hands that prepared it. Stepping outside and truly noticing the world. The crispness of the air, the way sunlight filters through the trees, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. Listening to a loved one, not just hearing their words, but absorbing their laughter, their expressions, the depth of connection in their voice. These are not just fleeting moments. They are the foundation of a meaningful life. The most beautiful experiences aren't found in grand achievements, but in the simple, fleeting moments we often take for granted. Slow living isn't about doing less. It's about feeling more, being more present, and reclaiming the richness of life in its purest form. 5. Reconnecting with passions and creativity. How many times have you told yourself you'd start someday? The book you've always wanted to write, the garden you dream of tending, the instrument you promised yourself you'd learn, all tucked away in the corners of your mind, waiting for the perfect moment that never seems to come. But time keeps moving, and with it, so do the opportunities we let slip away. The truth is, later is never guaranteed, but the present is here, waiting for you to seize it. One of the greatest gifts of slowing down is the chance to reconnect with the passions we once set aside. Creativity doesn't fade with age, just as curiosity has no expiration date. They simply lie dormant, waiting for the space to bloom again. The world may have convinced us that productivity must always serve a purpose, that our hobbies must be useful, profitable, or impressive. But what if we allowed ourselves to create not for approval or financial gain, but for the pure joy of the process? What if we picked up a paintbrush without worrying about the outcome, or wrote simply because there was a story inside us longing to be told? Now is the time to give yourself permission to begin. Find joy in the small, meaningful acts of creating, learning, and exploring. The fulfillment found in creative expression isn't about mastery or success, it's about how it makes you feel, how it brings you back to yourself. Whatever you've been waiting for, whatever you've been putting off, let today be the last day you wait to begin. 6. Nurturing relationships that truly matter. At some point in life, the need to impress begins to fade, and what remains is what has always mattered most: the people we love, the relationships we cherish, and the moments we share. We no longer measure our worth by achievements or possessions, but by the depth of our connections. Slow living isn't just about simplifying our surroundings, it's about making space for what truly enriches our lives. How often do we let the days slip by without reaching out to those who once meant so much to us? The friends we've lost touch with, the family members we assume will always be there, the quiet moments we could have shared but allowed distractions to take their place. The greatest gift we can offer is our presence, undivided, intentional, and unrushed. A simple phone call to an old friend, not because there's something urgent to discuss, but just to hear their voice. A shared meal, not for a special occasion, but simply because time together is worth celebrating. The sound of laughter filling a room full of loved ones, the warmth of familiar stories told over and over again, the comfort of knowing that no matter how life changes, some connections remain. In the end, it's not what we own, but who we love that defines the richness of our lives. Let's not wait for the perfect moment to nurture these relationships. Let's choose every day to be present for the people who make life meaningful. 7. The gift of financial freedom. There is a quiet liberation in realizing that happiness has never been tied to the quantity of what we own. The slower we move, the clearer everything becomes. We don't need endless luxuries to feel content. What we need is security, freedom, and the ability to choose how we spend our time. The relentless pursuit of more only traps us in a cycle of working harder, spending more, and never feeling satisfied. But when we step away from that cycle, we reclaim something far more valuable than any possession: peace of mind. True abundance is not found in excess, but in having enough and knowing that it is enough. When we stop chasing what society tells us we should want, we gain the freedom to focus on what truly brings fulfillment. We no longer feel the need to fill our lives with things that offer only fleeting satisfaction. Instead, we create space for experiences, for meaningful moments, for a life defined not by accumulation but by presence. With less financial pressure, we open ourselves to new possibilities, traveling without stress, pursuing passions without guilt, waking up without the weight of debt. We no longer work for things we don't truly need but live in alignment with what we genuinely value. The greatest wealth isn't in what we own. It's in the freedom to shape our days with intention, to embrace life on our own terms, and to find joy in the simple things that have always been enough. 8. Connecting with nature and well-being. There is a quiet kind of healing that happens when we step outside and let nature embrace us. The world moves fast, demanding our attention, pulling us into a cycle of urgency and distraction. Yet beyond the screens and the noise, there is a place where time slows down, a place where the rustling of leaves, the rhythm of ocean waves, and the stillness of an early morning bring a kind of peace no possession ever could. Nature asks nothing of us. It does not measure our worth by what we have achieved or accumulated. It simply exists, offering its beauty freely to those who take the time to notice. Walking through the forest is not just an escape, it is a return to ourselves, to our senses, to the simple truth that we are part of something far greater than the artificial world we have built around us. The air feels lighter, the mind grows clearer, and for a moment we remember what it means to simply be. Spending time in nature is not a retreat from life, but a deeper re-immersion into it. It is listening to the quiet wisdom of the earth, understanding that everything moves in cycles, and allowing ourselves to do the same. It is a reminder that growth takes time, that stillness has value, and that the most meaningful moments are often the ones we overlook. The more we reconnect with nature, the more we reconnect with ourselves. And in that space of simplicity and presence, we find a peace that no amount of consumption can provide. 9. Reflecting on life and legacy. When we slow down and embrace a life of intention, we begin to ask the questions that truly matter. What will remain long after we are gone? What kind of mark will we leave on the world, not through our possessions, but through the way we live? The wealth we accumulate will fade, the things we own will eventually lose their value, but the impact of a kind word, a generous act, or a life lived with purpose can ripple through generations. Legacy is not measured by bank accounts or material success. It is woven into the lives we touch. It exists in the wisdom we pass down, not just through words, but through the example we set. It is found in how we show up for those we love, in how we make others feel seen and valued, in how we choose presence over distraction. A full life is not one overflowing with achievements, but one rich with connection, laughter, and love freely given, without expectation. Perhaps the greatest legacy we can leave is the reminder that fulfillment is not found in what we own, but in how we live. Gratitude, kindness, and purpose matter more than success as the world defines it. True wealth lies in the relationships we nurture, the lessons we share, and the quiet dignity of a meaningful life. When we are no longer here, what will endure is not what we possessed, but how we made others feel, the warmth of our presence, the depth of our love, and the echo of our kindness in the lives of those we leave behind. 10. Choosing slow living, choosing happiness. Slow living is not about sacrifice or deprivation. It's about reclaiming the richness of life in its purest form. It's choosing to embrace what truly matters, to live with intention rather than excess, to seek fulfillment in the present rather than in endless pursuit. For too long, we've been conditioned to believe that happiness lies in having more success, more wealth, more achievements. But the truth is, the deepest joy doesn't come from attaining. It comes from appreciating. When we slow down, we begin to see life through fresh eyes. The moments we once rushed past take on new meaning, the warmth of the morning sun, the sound of laughter drifting through the air, the quiet comfort of simply existing. We realize that contentment is never about what we lack, but about fully embracing what we already have. In simplifying life, we discover true abundance, not in possessions, but in experiences, not in status, but in connection. Life is not a race to accumulate more, but a journey to appreciate what is already ours. When we embrace slow living, we learn that true fulfillment doesn't come from wealth or external success. It comes from presence, gratitude, and meaningful connections. We begin to understand that happiness is not something we chase, it's something we cultivate in the way we live each day. The greatest lesson of slow living is this: less can truly mean more. More peace, more clarity, more joy in the simple moments we often overlook. It's a reminder that life is not measured by what we own, but by the depth of our experiences and the love we share. If this resonates with you, Take one small step today. Simplify an area of your life. Prioritize presence over busyness. And embrace the beauty of each moment. Slow down and allow yourself to truly live. If you found this message meaningful, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can continue exploring life's most important lessons. Your support helps us share these insights with those who need them most. Stay mindful, stay strong, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you.